Hello there, villagers, and welcome back to another video here in Stacy's Random POV. And today, of course, we have to talk about this whole Epstein debacle, at least of what I understand from it. If you guys have anything to say about it, feel free to put it down in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on those post notifications, because you never know when I'm going to be releasing an interesting video. As we all know, the Republican Party's half sister, the MAGA movement, have had this idea since 2019 when Jeffrey Epstein was found unalived in his jail cell that his client list contained names of important and powerful people and wealthy people who were serial pedos and very dangerous men, and they wanted them to be exposed so that they can be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I like to believe that it was under this sentiment that Donald Trump set out the new head of the FBI, Kash Patel, and the head of the Department of Justice, Pam Bundy, to do a thorough investigation regarding this Jeffrey Epstein's client list. And they came out last week and said that there was no list and that there was nothing else to look at when it comes to the Jeffrey Epstein file. Of course, a lot of people did not buy that. Later on in this video, you will see Trump supporters, MAGA supporters burning their MAGA paraphernalia, their items that they've purchased, and they are completely upset with this entire findings. Since this is something that they've been writing on during this entire campaign, and mainly why a lot of people voted for Donald Trump during the presidential election. So fast forward, Ro Khanna, a Democratic lawmaker from the state of California, sent an amendment to the House of Representatives to make Pam Bondi, the DOJ, and the FBI make public all of the information that they've gathered regarding the Jeffrey Epstein's investigation. He wanted to see whether the T's were crossed and the I's were dotted when it comes to this investigation, so that they can confirm whether or not it was a well-done investigation, a thorough investigation, if I would say. In the flip side of that matter, some conservatives want to seal the Epstein file because, quote unquote, to conceal the victim's privacy, especially since they were underage children. So the House voted on the amendment sent by Ro Khanna, and the answer is in the clip in this video, so stick around for that. Whoosh, child, it's just a lot. A lot has been going on this last week when it comes to this Jeffrey Epstein client list. But let me know what you guys think down below. Now I'm gonna put in my opinion in this whole matter. I believe this is nothing to do with the victims, to protect their identity because it happened while they were underage. This is just to protect the powerful and wealthy men that are on that list, because if those men were to get prosecuted, or women were to get prosecuted, it will create a big dent on the economy of this country. So it is not on their best interest to do so. And to be honest, we know one person to be for sure on Jeffrey Epstein's list. It's on a clip at the end of this video, so stick around for that. There are two different clips of a girl and the FBI paperwork of the investigation. I can't wait to hear what you guys got to say about this matter. I'll be in the comments down below. And subscribe, turn on the post notification. You never know when I'm gonna be posting something as interesting as this. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.
I introduced today an amendment demanding the full release of the Epstein files. The Speaker's Rules Committee should demand a vote tomorrow of every member of Congress. Yes, we should release it, or no, we should not. This is a question of whose side are you on? Are you on the side of protecting the rich and the powerful who've put their thumb on the scales of government to suck out millions of dollars while working class Americans suffer? Or are you on the side of the people? The Attorney General said on her desk was the Epstein file. And now she's saying, no, 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 nothing to see, don't release it. This is a question of trust. We need to release the Epstein files so we can restore government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And every member of Congress tomorrow should be forced to vote on this amendment.
Madam Chair, the Epstein files concern issues of abuse of women and abuse of children. You know, as the chair of the Democratic Women's Caucus, you often see me raising issues of we need to address this. And not only that, but Republicans and the MAGA world have said they want to know about this. Your constituents want to know. So the question is, why are they not just releasing them? And I think it's a simple thing to do. And you're going to be asked to vote whether you require the release. That's going to be a simple vote. Will you require the release? Is there anything that needs to be hidden? If there isn't, then just release the files. Silence those who would question it. So every Republican on this committee should be able to easily vote yes. That is the vote you will be making as to whether it should go forward to the floor for that vote. So you, with your vote, will be preventing even the consideration of the release of the Epstein files. You will be voting against the release of the Epstein files. You have the power. Let's see how you vote.
Hearing none, the question's on the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. The amendment's not
Madam
agreed
Chair,
to.
I'm kind of shocked by that. I will ask for a roll call. I will ask for a roll call.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Fishbach? No. Mrs. Fishbach, no. Mr. Norman? Yes. Mr. Norman, aye. Mr. Roy? Mrs. Houchin? Mrs. Houchin, no. Mr. Langworthy? Mr. Langworthy, no. Mr. Scott? Mr. Scott, no. Mr. Griffith? Mr. Griffith, no. Mr. Jack?
No.
Mr. Jack, no. Mr. McGovern?
Aye.
Mr. McGovern, aye. Ms. Scanlon? Ms. Scanlon, aye. Mr. Neguse? Yes. Mr. Neguse, aye. Ms. Ledger-Fernandez? Ms. Ledger-Fernandez, aye. Madam Chair?
No.
Madam Chair, no.
The clerk will report the total.
5 yeas, 7 nays.
The noes have it. The amendment is not agreed to. And I think most of us believe what's appropriate will be released when it is time for the president to release it.
Well, Madam-
Thank you.
Madam
Which would require the Attorney General to preserve and release any records related to Jeffrey Epstein. Madam Chair, on February 21st, 2025, President Trump's own Attorney General, Pam Bondi, said on Fox News, the Epstein client list was sitting on her desk, quote, right now to review, end quote. Kash Patel, Trump's FBI director, said during his confirmation hearing that he would do everything, if confirmed, to make sure the American people knew, quote, the full weight of what happened, end quote. Patel, who now leads the FBI, said on the Benny Johnson show that the FBI was hiding the Epstein client list. Donald Trump Jr., the president's own son, tweeted out, and I quote, show us all the Epstein client list right now. Why would anyone protect those scumbags? Ask yourself this question, and then the answer becomes very apparent, end quote. And now, forgive me, but suddenly these same people are telling us there's nothing to see here. Trump is posting that we should all just move on. Well, I want to know what the hell is in these files. And I think we all want to know why Trump is suddenly changing his tune and is so desperate to sweep this under the rug. But you know what? This also gets at his credibility. This is about trust. Republicans said, trust us, vote for us, and we will release these files. And here we are. They are backtracking. They said they aren't going to cut Medicaid, and they did. They said they wouldn't add to the deficit and debt. They exploded both. They said that they stand with law enforcement. They won't even hang a plaque honoring officers for their heroism on January 6th. They talk about law and order and can't even condemn the president for pardoning the people who violently attacked the Capitol building. So please forgive me if I don't believe a word of any of it. This isn't about gotcha politics. It's about credibility, or rather the lack of credibility on the other side, because they constantly say one thing and do something else. So I urge a yes vote on my amendment, and I yield back.
The question's on.
Republican-controlled House Rules Committee has just voted to block the release of the Epstein files. Joining us now, the member of Congress who forced that vote, Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna of California. Congressman, kind of give us the latest situation with the House Rules Committee.
Well, it's very disappointing. I had a very simple amendment that the full Epstein files should be released. It went for a vote to the House Rules Committee. Jim McGovern, who is the ranking member for House Democrats, made sure that all 4 Democrats voted for the release. Ralph Norman, a Republican, actually joined with the Democrats, saying that there should be a vote on the full release. Chip Roy didn't show up for the vote, but 7 other Republicans blocked it. So as of now, there is going to be no vote tomorrow, up or down vote on whether the Epstein files should be released.
And this was the first stage of your attempt to get a full vote by the House of Representatives, to see a full recorded vote. Everyone could see how their member of Congress voted on this issue. And that's what was blocked by the Rules Committee, not allowing you to get to that stage on the floor. Why would it be important to have that recorded vote on the floor?
Well, in a very simple way, we should see whose side are you on. That's really what this Epstein file issue has become. It's not just about knowing who's being protected, the rich and the powerful, in terms of who had interaction with Jeffrey Epstein. It's the sense that people have that the government is too beholden to certain interests who have their thumb on the scale, and that they're not working for ordinary people. And what the Democrats are saying is we want to make sure that we get full justice here, that we get full transparency. And this may have been the first attempt that was blocked, but I'll tell you it's not going to be the last attempt. We already have Representative Vesey, who has a resolution. Leader Jeffries is saying that we're going to push for transparency here. And we can keep introducing these kind of amendments every week, every month, to force the Republicans to demand the release. And this is something that many Republicans believe should happen, as was evidenced by Ralph Norman's vote.
The Elon Musk commentary on this situation continues. Elon Musk posted this after Donald Trump's long Jeffrey Epstein social media postings. Elon Musk said, seriously, he said Epstein half a dozen times while telling everyone to stop talking about Epstein. Just release the files as promised. Congressman, are you concerned about a possible precedent here that down the line, a few years from now, we could be talking about the release of some other federal criminal investigative file that you might think should not be released? Or is this a unique case? This is, after all, in the entire history of this country, we have exactly one president who had a convicted pedophile as a best friend.
Lawrence, look, I think you raise a very thoughtful point, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, there's a reason you have DOJ policy saying you can't leak things about people before you charge them. You would not want a Justice Department that just arbitrarily started leaking things about people caught up in an investigation. But here you have a very unique situation. You have a president of the United States who promised the American people the release of these files. You have an attorney general who went on television and said that on her desk is a Epstein client list and that she's going to promise to release that to the American public. So now you have a question of trust. And I think what the president should do is say this is a unique circumstance that potentially involves governments of other countries, that involves potentially national security. And for a one-time issue, we're going to release it to have total transparency. We're going to protect the victims, but we're going to release it. And this is not precedent setting. It's simply doing what I and the attorney general promised the American people. And if they don't do that, they have a huge issue.
The Epstein case not going away. It continues to fester here in Washington and actually here on Capitol Hill as well. We've already seen 3 measures now being introduced, all by Democrats, that in some way deal with the Epstein files. Just today, we saw Congressman Ro Khanna introducing an amendment to a larger bill that would effectively demand within 30 days the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, release all of the Epstein files. Another Democrat, Mark Vesey, introduced a similar resolution calling for those files to be released. And over in the Senate last week, Senator Chris Van Hollen introduced an amendment attached to the appropriations bill that basically said all of the Epstein files need to be preserved. That one actually did get a vote in a bipartisan way, unanimously passed. Despite the fact that a lot of the ire is pointed at the Attorney General, because Pam Bondi was, in fact, the person who, in an interview a few months ago, said that the client list, the alleged list for Jeffrey Epstein, was on her desk for review. She later clarified she didn't mean that specific document. She meant all of the files. And now she and her department stand by the statement that that document, that Epstein client list, does not exist. They also maintain they will not release any more files and that Jeffrey Epstein did indeed die by suicide in prison. The pressure, the questions, the demands to see more in terms of the documents and the Epstein case still persists despite what the White House is saying.
Democrats didn't put the Jeffrey Epstein thing into the public domain. This was a conspiracy that Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and these MAGA extremists have been fanning the flames of for the last several years. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. The American people deserve to know the truth. What, if anything, is the Trump administration and the Department of Justice hiding? There are only 2 things that are possible here. Option 1, Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and the MAGA extremists intentionally lied to the American people for years about the Jeffrey Epstein situation. Option 2 is that, in fact, there's reason for the American people to be concerned as it relates to what information has not been released that could be damaging to the Trump administration and the friends and family of the Trump administration and their billionaire corrupt supporters. And so they're actively engaging in a...
How big of a blowback is there right now in MAGA world specifically?
It's pretty big, I have to be honest. It's just a red line that it crosses for many people. Jeffrey Epstein is literally the most well-known convicted pedophile in modern-day history. This is something that's been talked about by many people serving in the administration, myself and many others on the right and the left, of there needing to be transparency of the rich and powerful elites that were in his circle while he was just one of the worst serial abusers of young women. It has been a very serious situation for the administration, and many people are speaking out online. You've seen it. You saw it at Turning Point Student Action Summit this weekend. And a lot of people in MAGA, they really want to know more information about the people that were involved with Jeffrey Epstein. And is there a blackmail list? And are there foreign countries' governments involved? And there's nothing wrong with people continuing to ask that.
So let me get this straight. A Democrat from California says, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Let's put it to a vote. Let's put it to a vote. Let's see if we should release these files. Okay? Let's just vote that it should go to the floor so we can have the rest of these House of Representatives, so we can have people vote on this. All in favor? You know, y'all been talking about this Epstein file all year. You shouldn't have a problem releasing these files. Republicans, you shouldn't have one. Republicans say, hell no, we're not going to release them files. Hell no, we're not going to release them files. They played you dumbasses. They played y'all like a fiddle. I'm so tired of this fake outrage for corruption. You could have stopped corruption before it got to the White House. Yep, you could have stopped it. You voted for a man that got 34 felons. You have no right to talk about corruption at all whatsoever. None. Even when y'all bring up like the Biden crime family and all that stuff, it's like you're talking to a guy who committed fraud in New York. He can't even practice business in New York, and you voted for him. So you don't care about crime. You don't care about corruption. You care about your conspiracies. Your little YouTube conspiracy theories that y'all got running around out there. That's what you care about. And now you guys are in a limbo. Now you're angry because you're in limbo. Because you don't know. You don't know if it's true or not. You don't know if Trump is on that list. I can make a guesstimation that Trump is on that list. Right? I can make a guesstimation of who's on. It doesn't bother me none. Okay? Because are those people going to go to jail? That's my point. Are those people going to go to jail? Is there going to be handcuffs given to those people? Probably not. Probably not. Because there are people out there that will defend corruption at the highest level. At the lowest level, you'll defend it. You'll find a way.
Republicans just blocked the release of the Epstein files. A push to unseal the full Epstein client list hit Congress, but it's reportedly being blocked. And the main resistance, allegedly, coming from Republican lawmakers. This was done in the middle of the night while everyone was sleeping. And sources say that several GOP members claimed it would violate privacy rights and damage reputations unnecessarily. But critics say it sounds more like protecting powerful names. This comes after years of public demand for transparency about Epstein's connections to the elites in politics, business, and entertainment. So the question is, who are they really protecting? And why is this list still under wraps in 2025? Do you think the full list will ever see the full light of day? Leave me a comment and let me know.
So in the middle of the night, which is when the Republicans like to do their dirty work, there was a committee hearing. And in this committee hearing, there was a vote put forth before the committee. The vote was, should we take a vote to the House floor as to whether or not to release the Epstein files? So if this committee voted yes, then the House of Representatives would have the opportunity to vote yay or nay to release the Epstein files. The chairwoman tried to push the vote through by saying, in my opinion, the noes have it, which is a right she has as a chairwoman. But the Democrats said, no, we want a roll call, which means you got to say yay or nay to your name. And to nobody's surprise, one by one, the Republicans all voted no. So let's make sure we all understand what the Republicans voted no to. They voted no to releasing the Epstein files.
I honestly don't want to hear shit about how this is not the time to play politics. Republicans are showing you in real time who the fuck they are, and that they could never again in their motherfucking miserable ass lives say that they are the pro-life, that they are the pro-birth, that they are the pro-children, that they are the pro-family fucking party. They can't say that shit anymore. You know why? Because literally right now, Democrats put forth an amendment that would have forced Donald Trump to release the fucking Epstein files. And you know what this cockeyed bitch just did? This cockeyed bitch just, as a chairwoman of the House and Rules Committee, decided to take all her Republicans and vote against the fucking measurement. And here's the thing, I really don't even fucking understand why they're trying to die on this hill. Literally. Why are they trying to die on this hill? Steve Bannon, who's one of Donald Trump's closest fucking advisors, also a white supremacist, says that the GOP, the Republicans, are going to lose 40 fucking seats over these Epstein files. Like, they know this shit is sinking them. The only reason why they would be going along with this fucking plan and to support Trump even through this bullshit is because they know they've got some backdoor deal or backdoor information that knows that Trump is planning on creating legislation that's going to change the fucking elections, which they already said they were going to do with the Make American Elections Great Again bill, to make it so that they don't have to worry about facing voters in 2026 or 2028. That's the only fucking reason. Because literally all of your supporters were some of the biggest conspiracy theorists, some of the biggest people who dove into these motherfucking files and have been reporting on this shit for years, and now thought that you were going to be the one anointed by God to save children, to save families, and all of this bullshit. And now you fucking disappointed them. Now they're mad as fuck at you. This is what's turning the tide. And by the way, let me also say this. Bullshit aside, let's come to motherfucking terms of what the fuck the reality is. None of these motherfuckers that are now going to turn because of the Epstein files cared about everything else. They didn't care about the humanity of people. They didn't care about ripping families and children apart. They didn't give a fuck about people being put into concentration camps. They didn't give a fuck about their tariffs after knowing the fact that they've already lived through a fucking first term. Like, this is what fucking it took. Not the abuse of women, because there was an adult woman that found liable in court, E. Jean Carroll. Okay, you stopped it at children, but literally all the other pieces. And there's still people in your flock that are still not believing it. It's fucking.
We're not going to play with these anymore. MAGA hats are off. America First hats are on. Burn, baby, burn. This is a great representation of what's left of MAGA.
How is MAGA responding to Trump saying that the Epstein client list never existed? Well, see for yourself.
I'm a Trump supporter. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If this is the verdict, there's no Epstein client list. If we don't get accountability for the thousands of victims that were abused, then I'm jumping ship. And all of you should as well.
This is all going in the trash. I do not support Trump anymore. He's a liar. He's a part of the deep state. I do not support Israel. I will not be supporting him anymore. He's part of the deep state.
The whole thing that this tape shows he didn't kill himself is like a joke. But worse than that, it's a joke that we all get. Like, they're not fooling anybody. So I feel like we're at a dangerous point now.
So now by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. I mean, it's just, you cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. I'm going to go throw up, actually. And this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically going to puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now. Because I have integrity.
So this message goes out to Donald Trump and his people. I've been asked before, what would it take for you to not support Donald Trump anymore? I always said, well, it'd take a lot. I've literally made thousands of videos on this app supporting you, sir. So if you're deciding that Epstein is the bridge that you're going to burn, I got the match, sir. You're telling me there's no list after you told me there was a list. You're telling me that you don't care about these victims. This is a promise you made to the American people, sir. Non-negotiable. You've always been in tune with your supporters. Always. 100% spot on. Not this time, sir. You missed this one.
I voted for Donald Trump in 2016, 2020, and 2024. I am prepared to die on this hill. If Donald Trump is part of the Epstein list and why he has decided to pretend like doesn't exist anymore, then the war that I've been waging on liberals, I plan to wage on Donald Trump if he cannot explain or make sense of this soon, pointing to that he is implicated.
So I voted for Trump, and this Epstein thing is just insane. But I think it's showing us one thing, and that's our country is unified for the first time in a long time. And I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, we all know this administration is guilty. So
what I'm about to show you is an actual court document filed in 2016. It accuses Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein of terrible acts against a 13-year-old girl. Look at this. So this girl was promised money and a modeling career to attend some parties in New York that were held at Epstein's residence. At least 4 of these parties were attended by Trump. And by the time of 1994, Donald Trump had known Epstein for at least 7 years. Here's a quote from Trump. "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy." Here's another quote from Trump talking about Epstein. "He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." Trump knew that this girl was just 13 years old. And here's where it gets terrible. Donald Trump initiated contact with the plaintiff at 4 parties, and on the 4th and final encounter with Trump, Trump tied her to a bed, exposed himself to her, and proceeded to forcibly grape her. During the course with his savage act, the plaintiff loudly begged Trump to stop, but with no effect. Donald Trump responded by striking this girl in the face with his open hand and screaming that he would do whatever he wants. And you guys can read all of this, but I'm going to finish off here. Immediately following this grape, Donald Trump threatened the plaintiff that if she ever revealed this to anybody, he would have her family killed. But look at this. Read this whole thing if you want to. It's absolutely terrible. Unfortunately, this case was later dropped, but not because what happened wasn't true, because Donald Trump threatened this girl's life and her family's lives. And this isn't fake, this is an actual court filing. I think we all know why this has gotten so little attention. Ask yourself why the same people screaming "protect children" are supporting this guy.
Donald Trump had specifically asked about me because I remind him of his daughter, and she said, well, she's 13 as well. So he knew the first time that he saw me. But he comes over mad because I was crying, and he said that I should be thankful that someone like Donald Trump took my virginity. He basically didn't say took my virginity. He said, I should be glad that someone like Donald Trump popped my cherry and not some pimply little 14-year-old. And I just was like, what if I said, what if I get pregnant? Not even talking to him. I didn't want to talk to him. I was talking to Tiffany. And he said, well, you'll get an abortion then, bitch, and then just walked away.
Still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.